All right. Well, welcome. I'm glad you're here. It's good to have you. I'm not sure how many people we're going to get tonight, or how many people are asked to ask me to take notes on it. You are welcome to turn off your screens and just kind of watch on this one. Oh, and yeah, it's great. So, my name is Joe Wahlberg. I've met some people. I haven't met everybody. It's good to have you. I'm the director of speech and debate at St. James Academy. I have really enjoyed over the last few years working with Aquinas on this tournament. For years with Steve Du Bois as the head coach, and now as I've gotten to know Kim Spillman, she's been great, and it's been a great partnership that actually started before I was coaching. The coach before me that set up this partnership. So it's pretty great. We have a short judges clinic tonight. It's not going to take, I'm expecting about half an hour, which we kind of need to hustle for because I only have the free Zoom and it time limits out at a certain point. So we're going to use our time efficiently. I also will try to manage the waiting list, although it's one of my worst skills on Zoom. You know, it's funny, Zoom used to be very important to me as a teacher, and it is kind of not anymore. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to pray together to open up. I want to do a little introduction to talk about who I am, and then I want to give what you can expect about judging a forensics tournament, like what goes on at a forensics tournament and what you can expect out of it. I wanted to have a minute about how to fill out a ballot, what goes into balloting, and kind of what makes a good one on that one, and then what makes a good judge. Just in general, how does a person become a good forensics judge? And I'm quite confident everybody's going to be great at it by the time we're there. But what I want to do before we get lost in the weeds is I want to open up in prayer. So I'm going to begin in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Good and gracious God, thank you for this day. Thank you for all of the lives that you have entrusted to us in our schools, the families, the students, those that know them and those that love them. Lord, we ask that you send down your blessing on us on this Zoom tonight, but also on the people that we'll encounter at our forensics tournament, that you send the blessings down, that they know your grace and your love and your mercy and your joy. And Lord, that you send your grace and love and mercy and joy onto us as we live a life pointed towards you. Amen. And the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Okay, so yeah, let's get started. The first thing I want to do before we really get, oh my gosh, I've lost my mouse. Ugh. Okay, is to say thank you for judging. Thank you for this. Now, I'm going to say thank you for judging in full awareness that a lot of people are voluntold onto this event that their kid does forensics, and so welcome to it. You're a forensics judge. And I remember thinking, like, when my kid first started doing, basketball, like, what? I have to go run the score clock at a basketball game? I don't know anything about running a score clock on it. And you know what? Sometimes speech debate is kind of like that too. You may not know anything about speech and debate, but you also know that running the score clock is one of those things you can probably figure out. And I feel that way about judging debate. This is a fun way to support students. It's a fun way to support people doing hard things. The kids have the hard part. We judges actually have the easy part. And I love getting to support new opportunities and challenges for people to stretch themselves and push them there. So thank you for helping kids do hard things. Debate is the game. Speech and debate is the game that formed me as a young person. It's what really built me as a young person, and I think everybody that touches speech and debate says the same thing, that it's really the thing that was formational to them as a young person, and I'm really glad to be able to share it again. So thank you for your willingness to judge, even if you were again more voluntold than volunteered for it. So what I want to do is kind of give you a kind of a walkthrough about what to expect in a debate round. So or the speech, I keep calling them a debate because that's where my head is three-quarters of the time lately. But so when you come into a forensics tournament, what you'll do is you'll just come up to St. James, and all of our events are held at St. James on Saturday. There were some things that on Friday got moved to Olathe Northwest in kind of a cooperation with a coach that we work well with there. So if you're on any of the debate events, you're at Olathe Northwest. But for the forensic stuff on Saturday, you're at St. James. Even if you are an Aquinas family, like I said, we partner together on this one, and we've hosted at St. James the last couple of years. So we'll see you there. Park in any spot. So as soon as you make it out, you survive the roundabouts, park in any spot and come in the front doors. The front doors is the circle drive. So just pop right on in the circle drive. When you come in the front doors of our building, there'll be a little table kind of set up over there to the front that says, it'll have a sign of it says judges. That's where you will come over to. So, we need to see you about 15 minutes before the round begins. We have 4 rounds, 3 prelim rounds, and 1 finals round. They start at 8:30, or excuse me, at 8 o'clock, 9:30, 11 o'clock, and then 1:30. We'll need to see you about 15 minutes before then. So for the 8 o'clock round, please come and check in about 7:45. We'll also have a room with donuts and coffee and kind of a chance to sit in the quiet and look over some things, and those will be available for you in our hospitality lounge. But yeah, we have a number of judges for maybe the first time in many years that makes me feel like I can take a breath. We have enough that all of our rounds are well covered with a few standbys. If you are asked to be a standby judge, it's pretty great, and thank you for that. It lets us be able. A well-run tournament needs to have standby judges, so thank you for that. But you'll, like I said, you'll come in the front door. You'll walk up to the judges' table. We'll hand you a sheet of paper that will have your name on it and a room number and an event. There will be some like the kids' names on it. The rest of it is less important, just so you know what room you're going to and what event you have. It'll look like a ballot that you fill out scores for. It's actually not something that we go and collect scores on, but it'll let you know. I'm going to put a link in our chat right now that will have a description of what all of the events are. So if you want to go pop open that, you can see what all of the events are. And we're going to look at the blue box on there, the Saturday speech and interp events. Some of our forensics are a weird game. Some of it's public speaking, some of it's acting. But that's what we've got there. And you can see there's a variety. Some things are current event speeches. Some things are persuasive. But also some acting events that people will try to be funny and people try to be serious. And then there's book events. And we'll talk all about this in a minute. So you come into the judges table, you get your event that you are headed off to. When it's time, you'll head to your room. The students might be queued up waiting to go into the room for you to get there. You might go into a room by yourself and just kind of sit for a little bit. The performers will come in and they will hand you a sheet of paper. I'll show you the ballots here in just a second of what a ballot would look like. It'll probably have their name on it. And then they're going to say, is it okay if I use my phone to time myself? And, yeah, it's fine. They can use their phone to time themselves. There are some time limits for some particular events. I want to lift the burden of you of being a timekeeper. It's actually one of the rules in the state of Kansas is that our judges are not timekeepers. So you don't have to worry about the times. You are not a referee as a judge. You don't have to do any particular rule enforcement. We do give you some clues about some of the major things to go look out for in terms of the rules. But like I said, you're not a referee onto it. You are the judge. You get to sit back and have the kid perform for you. So a round lasts 90 minutes. Some of the events are 7 minutes long. Some of them are 10 minutes long. Those are maximum amount of times. There really isn't a minimum amount of time, although we find that, as a coach, I always tell my players that if you're not, filling most of your time, you're probably not competitive in there, but there's actually strictly speaking, no minimum on there. The kid could walk up and give a 30-second performance and walk out, and the rules would allow it. But a round as a whole lasts 90 minutes. Then there's 7 or 10-minute performances. Student performers come at you probably one at a time. They'll walk in, they'll hand you a sheet of paper. They will walk back to the front of the classroom and they'll perform up there in the front of the classroom. And then they'll say, thank you. And then they'll kind of awkwardly walk out of the classroom. And maybe the next kid is ready to come in and do the same thing, or maybe you've got some kind of downtime between them. You will see between 4 and 8 performers in a round. So maybe you will see 4 original oration speeches, which are like a persuasive speech. Maybe you'll see 4, maybe you'll see 8 of them. It kind of depends on how many kids enter the event and how it breaks down to it. We want to make sure that there's enough people that fit in each one of the rounds. And then, yeah, so that's during a round. Like I said, the kids are going to bring a ballot into you. It'll probably be mostly filled out with their name on it, the title of their piece. This is A Midsummer Night's Dream by William Shakespeare. I doubt anybody's going to do Shakespeare, but they'll have that mostly filled out for you. Students perform and then usually leave. Sometimes a kid will say, "Hey, I'm going to sit down and watch the next performer." We don't see that too much around here, but every now and then you will see it. While the child is performing, while the extempor is extemping or the interper is interping, I'd like you to fill out the ballot as you go. Kind of make notes, things that you like. I'll give some examples of that in just a second. But kind of fill it out as you go. And then I will take my stack of papers and kind of just sort of put them in order. I like this one the most. I'm going to put it on top. I like this one the second most. I'm going to put it behind. And I just sort of shuffle them in and out kind of informally. I will double check my order later once I've seen everybody onto it. But you make your comments as you go and kind of sort in maybe who your favorite to your not so favorite in as you go. But fill out your ballots while you go. I'm going to give you a caution of having seen a lot of forensics events over the years. Don't wait until the end to make comments. You will regret it. They will all run together in your head. You'll have a hard time making a meaningful distinction. And even if you can make a meaningful distinction, we kind of need your ballots back. So help us keep our tournament moving. Okay, so I want to talk about one of the ways that actually, probably the most important thing that you're going to do in the round is put a numerical score on it, but really a ranking on your players. So I've got up on the screen a picture of what one of our ballots might look like. Some of them will look a little differently. There'll be something called a rating on it. But I want to talk about ranks first. It's actually the most important part. Ranks are the performance that you liked the best is ranked number 1, and you're just going to actually circle it on the ballot. I don't think my cursor will show up on the screen up there, but I would just circle number 1. That is the best performer in the round, and it's the one you liked. And then your second best performer, you're going to 2, third best performer, number 3. There will be between 4 and 8 performers in a round, and you don't skip any ranks, just 1, 2, 3, 4. This is really important for us because this is how all of our scoring will work onto it. Don't psych yourself up about it. It'll be pretty obvious that you're looking at is just 1, 2, 3, 4s on it. And you can't have any ties. You can't have to say like, "Oh my gosh, there are 2 kids that are the best. I'm just going to rank them both number 1." Doesn't work like that. You're going to have to make a judgment call and make a judgment on it. You will probably find that there is in a set of 6, 2 of them that are probably the best, 2 of them that are like emerging. They're maybe not quite there yet, and 2 in the middle. And it'll be hard to make meaningful distinctions, but that is why you're earning the big bucks. You will need to rank those out. Now, some of our ballots will also have a second set of numbers that go from 25 to 10, and those are ratings. We actually don't use these in Kansas anymore. We don't use ratings. We separate out first and second place and stuff through a mathematical process. So we don't use the ratings, but we just got some old backstock of ballots that we are using up. If you fill them out, won't matter. I'm not going to enter them. The kid will be able to see them, but it might kind of confuse them. Like I said, as we're losing up, I'll have reminders of this at the time, but we actually don't use the quality points or the ratings points. They are still in our ballot. Some people will circle them. We don't enter them into our data system onto it. So Kansas is mostly not using ratings, but you will see them there. You are welcome to ignore them. The only thing we really need is rankings. Now, there will also be a section that will ask you to fill out feedback. And this is actually the most important part for the performer's point of view. And from a coach's point of view, when I'm looking through ballots, this is the thing that I'm going to look for. I would like you to put in some good, helpful comments that will help our performers know what they're looking for and what they're doing. So speech and debate is an educational activity, and it's our job to go help them educate what how to get better at the game. Let's see. Hang on, I had another thing I wanted to put up and I can't find it right now. Ballots. Yep, I'll have to find that later. Okay. What I'd like you to do is to make some comments about them to give them some good feedback. If there's something that you have seen that is good, point it out. Like, hey, I really liked the way that did this character. I really liked the way that you performed this. Or I needed you to speak up more. I could barely hear you, or your characters kind of sounded the same, or I don't really understand some of the analysis that you use. Maybe it's a speech event. Or maybe you've got the one with visual aids, the informative speech with the visual aids on it, and you're like, I didn't really get your visual aids. I didn't really understand what you were doing with those. So the kid needs to know why they're receiving the ranking they're receiving. Like I said, this is an educational activity, so it's important that they know why that they can do something with education. I do see some comments about dressing, how you would dress for things. I like the response I'm seeing there. I will address that at the end. I'm going to put in another link up here that shows what our ballots will look like. This is the current version of it. Like I said, we're using some old backstock up of some of the old ballots onto it, but there'll be a mix of both of them that you'll see over the course of the day. But you'll get an idea of what it looks like, that you'll put the rankings on there, and that you're going to put in some comments on there. If something is not working in the performance for you, you're like, oh, I did not understand where you were going at all in the second half. Also put that up there. Kids need to know where they are going to improve. Like I said, this is an educational activity, and they need to have good feedback onto it. I'll also say that over the years, I've seen a lot of judges try to be pretty nice to their kids, which I appreciate. I do appreciate, being kind. That's really great. But I'll tell you, there are a few things that are more frustrating to a performer to just see a positive ballot all the time. Oh, I just loved what you did with the thing. And then they score a 5 or a 6 or a 7 in a crowded room or something like that. And the kid has no idea how to improve their performance. You have to give them some feedback. You have to make some critical comments on here. I don't want to say a negative comment because I don't want you to say like, "Hey, you're ugly." Like, but they have to have something to work with. They have to have some kind of criticism, particularly if they've gotten a low score onto it. It's okay to say, "I really liked your work. There was just somebody that outperformed you," but if you could give something else that helps you outperform you, they had more characters than you had. They cited more sources than you had. They moved between their characters more quickly than you did, or something like that. Give some people to do it. Student performers usually read their ballots with the coaching staff, and the coaching staff will give them some kind of targeted advice. Give both of us something to work with, both the performer and the coach there. Now, I got to go back to this. I need you to still be kind. They are kids. They are still learning how to do this game. This is a school activity for amateurs. These are adolescents. This is not primetime television. None of these people are going to be on, they might one day be on as professionals. There's Speech and Debate has actually launched quite a few professional people over the years, but they are kids. This is an amateur thing. Be kind to them. Turn criticism into advice. That's maybe the golden piece for it. Turn criticism into advice. Make sure you mention something that you like as well to it. Now, realistically, have I been in performances of judges where I'm like, oh shoot, I don't actually know what positive thing I would say here because this all sucks. Yes, I have, but I still find things that are good on there. You have good volume and projection. You mumbled a little bit, but I could hear that you were trying. Like find something to say there. Be the best version of yourself. Kindness goes a long way. These are kids trying hard stuff. A couple of important cautions I need to put on here. Please do not comment about a person's appearance basically at all. No physical appearance, no clothing. just don't mention it. We just find that it's not very helpful feedback, and even things that are supposed to be compliments to a sensitive adolescent, they're all going to take it the wrong way. Even if it's like, boy, I sure do love your tie. There's somebody that's going to think like, oh, it's not my tie. I borrowed it from a friend. They like my friend more than they like me. Adolescents, just physical comments aren't very helpful. Or you'll see people in different stages of life. We have teams coming in from lots of world that may not share a Catholic worldview on how to present yourself. You can have your opinions. Please don't write them on the ballot. Let's just help Mrs. Spillman and I out on that one. It's just not a helpful comment. Also, I'll say that not every selection or performance or speech topic will be to your taste. Be sensitive that a student's life experiences may be different than yours. They're entitled to their point of view on it. Forensics is an artistic endeavor. You will see people experimenting. You'll see people approach topics that you may not like. As a judge, you get a chance to make judgments, but this is also an artistic activity, and sometimes people when you work in art, some things work and some things don't onto it. What I really want to come down to this is evaluate the round you have, not the round you wish you had. So if you're like, boy, I saw 3 people do a Dr. Seuss piece in a poetry event, and I didn't like any of them. Why didn't any of you pick serious authors? Well, okay, maybe that's a legit thing, but evaluate the round that you had, not the round that you wish you had. That's the important part to it. And that goes also for judging. You are judging a round of people, like I said, trying stuff. Okay, at the end of your round, you have seen your 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 kids. You have given good feedback. You have ranked them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever it is. You've got your stack of 4 to 8 ballots. They're usually crazy colors on there. What do you do with them? You will walk out of your classroom. You'll know you've seen everybody because you'll have a list of all the performers you're expected to see. That is yours. Enjoy it or pitch it, whatever. You'll walk out of the room and you're going to find a St. James student or an Aquinas student. You will recognize them because they are dressed like a Catholic school student. Everybody else will be in a variety of dress, probably dressed nice, but you're going to go find the one dressed like a Catholic school student. And they will probably be at a table or desk near the room that you're at. They will look over your ballots. Don't be insulted by that. They're just going to look through that you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in the correct order and didn't skip anybody on it. Like I said, don't be insulted by that. They're just going to double check it. Sometimes people walk it back to the table by the front door. If you do that, that's fine. We'll check it there also. But you give it to somebody that runs the tournament where they will double check it onto it. If you are in the judging pool for the next round, head back to the registration table, get your next event and room. Also, again, visit our hospitality lounge. There's snacks and drinks. It's a nice place to go. Also, our chapel is open the whole time. If you want a quiet place to meditate or pray or just decompress after a stressful round, the Lord will meet you in the chapel there anytime. It's right next to our hospitality room, right behind where you're going to check in as a judge. But we do need those ballots back. We got to keep that tournament moving. Mrs. Spillman and I have both agreed we have a strong commitment to efficiency on this tournament. Efficiency is not always the goal, but it is our goal. Okay, so events. I put a link in the chat earlier about what the events are. There are acting events, there are book events, there are some limited prep events, there are some platform speaking events. The acting events are really fun. Some of them are humorous, some of them are dramatic, some of them are 2-person events onto it. They are no costumes, no set, and no props. It is entirely a theater of the mind. We call them interp events because it's up to the performers to go interpret that piece and make it real for you. They might be playing multiple characters. The same kid might play multiple characters, and hopefully they make meaningful distinctions in voice and posture, and it's great. The interp and acting events, they're crowd pleasers. Enjoy them. There are book events where people will present poetry or story, like they're going to interpret a prose piece for you, or sometimes they've one event that kind of blends multiple genres together onto it. In days past, old timers like me remember when prose and poetry were frozen in place. I remember my coach telling me, imagine that your feet are sunk in concrete. You can move everything but your feet. Actually, a couple years ago, we lifted that rule and performers get full movement now. It's more like national rule style, where it's a book event. The book is as close as you get to a prop, and you'll see people that when they're holding their book, It's a bird event, a bird, and they start flapping it like a bird or whatever. You can use the book as a prop into it. It's fun when you get to see it done well. Sometimes they just stand there and hold it, whatever, evaluate the round you got. There are limited prep events where speakers get a topic on current events. These are called extemp. The meeting is going to end in 10 minutes. It's telling me, well, we're just going to end before then. Okay. Like I said, there's events like the limited prep. You get a current events piece, and you got 30 minutes to go research, write, and memorize. The rules do allow a note card for the extemp events, but so they may or may not use a note card. It's up to the kid and what their coach does to it on it. But and they go and give a speech 30 minutes after they drew the topic. Or there's impromptu events where they get a prompt and 5 minutes later have to go give a speech with no notes onto it. Those are fun. They're exciting. They're not everybody's cup of tea because maybe you're not a current events person onto it, but I think you'll still find something you like on it. And there's platform speaking events where people want to go up and they're going to give a persuasive speech to go change the world. These could be big topics or little topics, or they could be informative events. Informative events I think are honestly, the longer I coach, they're more and more my favorite because they come with visual aids and boards, and you'll see foam core and all kinds of cool stuff onto it. I don't actually have a way to assign you a particular event. Their tabroom.com software, the robots will pick it for you. So you'll just kind of get whatever you get. You'll like them all. I think you'll love it. As a coach, I definitely have preferences, but I also know I judge enough tournaments that you get who you get, and that's the way it works sometimes. Yeah, let's see our next. Okay. Before I wrap up, there was a comment in the chat about how to dress for it. There are no dress codes for adults. You can come in vacation casual if you'd like. You'll see everything. You'll see the kids come in everything from pretty nice clothes to some pretty casual clothes to it. And every school's got their own dress code to it. But adults, come as you would like. I see sweatpants and t-shirts. I see people wearing coat and tie and everything in between. Vacation casual, totally acceptable. I will say, as kind of a long-term teacher at this school, St. James Academy is every temperature. It is mostly a cold school, but it'll be every temperature for it. You will like a pen, something with which to write. You can bring a cup of coffee or a bottle of water. We will have water bottles and hot coffee or hot-ish coffee in our hospitality room. You're welcome to it. So I do think the advice about wearing layers is not a bad idea. Throw a jacket over your shoulder onto it. Okay, that wraps up everything I wanted to cover tonight. I want to go back to this and say what your real job as a judge is to support kids doing hard things, give some good feedback onto it. These are kids that are pushing themselves, and I'm proud of their work. I'm proud of the kids on my team. I know Mrs. Spillman would say the same thing. These kids work so hard. It's cool to see them try things and succeed at it, or honestly fail at it. Sometimes failing's part of the deal too, and it's one of the great things about a learning environment. I am so excited to share all of it with you. I have about 6 minutes left on the Zoom. I will hang back and let's see, I can stop sharing and just turn myself on here. Okay. Like I said, there's about 6 minutes left on the Zoom. I would love to stay back and answer any questions you've got. If you have your questions answered, you can go out to glorify the Lord by your life. Thanks be to God. But otherwise, I'll hang back or I'll see you. I'll see you Saturday, 15 minutes before the rounds begin. All right. Have a good night.